It looks like the market is struggling today. Check this out. We talked about this during our live trading session today with the LPP team, and it's on the 5-minute time frame. You could see that NVIDIA has been forming these lower highs and lower lows, but please understand that this is still an ascending uptrend pattern. It's just as of right now, NVIDIA is struggling to make new highs, but it's not just NVIDIA, right? It's the overall NASDAQ market. We've been forming these higher highs and these ascending lows. So overall, based off of the past 2 days, the market has been bullish. But if you just look from the 5-minute to the 30-minute time frame, then it kind of begins to paint a different picture. This is why, again, and I know I sound like a broken record, but I need to continue to repeat myself because the pattern is still valid. Different time frames give you different perspectives. On the 5-minute time frame, it looks like we're bullish, right? That we're going to continue to indicate signs of an uptrend. But on the 30-minute time frame, it shows that we might be at the peak of a potential descending resistance, right? NASDAQ market has been struggling. It's been forming these lower highs and lower lows. And unless we actually begin to surpass and break above the previous support, you guys can see this right here. Old support levels right around, 458. Can act as new resistance levels. And especially if we're still trading below it, the moving average is there. And with the understanding that tomorrow and the CPI data report is about to be released, today we have the presidential debate at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I do plan to potentially live stream it here on YouTube. So again, all I ask you to do is subscribe. But with that being said, before you get super excited thinking that the market is going to recover, I just want to remind you of the possibility that it might not. I'm not here to say that it doesn't have to recover. Markets are more bullish than they are bearish long term. But as of right now, there's been this bearish sentiment. Anytime the markets tried to rally, they get rejected. They tried to rally, they get rejected. They tried to rally and get rejected. Let me ask you a very simple question. How terrible would you feel that as soon as this thing began to indicate signs of an uptrend, you bought into it and then it just gets rejected and it goes to make new lows? So that is just what I'm making you aware of, that yes, at this level, we do not have to make new highs, just as we do not have to sell off. But there is this valid descending channel with lower highs and lower lows. And my job here is just to make you aware so you are not surprised. There should be no excuses that if you're watching this video, that if all of a sudden the NASDAQ market begins to get rejected, it comes back down to lows of 445, NVIDIA goes from highs of 107 all the way back to lows of 100, that you don't ask the question, well, I just don't know what happened. Well, yes, you do, because on the technical side, you could have easily been able to see that, yes, we were showing signs of a potential resistance here, and that if you decided to buy into it before we actually got confirmation of an uptrend, then that was the risk that you were simply willing to take. So please do not put yourself in a position in which you are not ready to tolerate, especially during major economic events or reports. There is a very common theme that experienced traders choose to not carry positions during major economic events. So this presidential debate or the CPI data report, these are catalyst events that can shift the market. Regardless of what it's telling me on the technical side, we can quickly gap up or quickly gap down based off of how the markets digest that data. If you do not want to expose yourself to that kind of volatility, then do not take a position before those events actually happen. You can wait until after to make a more informed decision. If you choose to take the trade before, then that is simply, again, the position that you are choosing to put yourself in. And as we see, as of right now, it's pulling on back. Not surprised. I currently have an active short position on NVIDIA, but I'll most likely buy to cover down here at lows of 106 because, again, I need to respect that it's just kind of consolidating. The market as of right now is not aggressively selling off. It's not aggressively recovering either. I think it's really trying to figure out what it wants to do. The one thing that I do want to share with you is what I talked to my LPP team about. And please take this as a grain of salt if you don't see any value in it. But on the 30-minute time frame, you could see that we are testing support at the EMA line for NVIDIA, and we are testing this resistance. If we break above this moving average, this current resistance, then we could see signs of a potential recovery. But if we break below this support, for NVIDIA, then at that point, we have huge gap down potential. And then at that point, I would go all in on my short position when it comes down to NVIDIA, because then that means that we're just simply returning back to the bearish sentiment. We broke support. And as you can see for the past 2 to 3 days, as it's been trying to indicate signs of an uptrend, we've been holding above this EMA line on the 30-minute time frame. So a break of EMA below support would be a break of pattern. So again, I like to keep my trading super simple. I hope that the way that I broke things down, especially for all of you beginners out there, just made it a little bit easier to understand of the risk that you are choosing to expose yourself to if you choose to carry a position during these major economic events. I know that it's very exciting, especially when you're just getting started, but I want to remind you that great things come with time, and there is no reason to rush your learning process and discourage yourself by over trading or taking trades that you are simply not ready to tolerate. Remember, we talk about this in a little bit more detail in our LPP lesson library, and it also gives you access to watching me trade live every single day. And if you ever want to watch me trade live, I'm going to do it tomorrow right at market open. And if you want to tune on in, it's the second link in the description down below. I appreciate your time. I hope that earned a thumbs up. I hope to see you later today for our presidential debate, and it's going to be right around 9 p.m. Eastern time or 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to comment down below. If you want to tune on in, drop a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.